And she was happy that you did this program?
Yes, she is, because she sees that she sees that it's what I want, what's important to me, and she's seen the changes in me. It's an amazing feeling when you can be in touch with that energy that's within us, and you can feel it moving around, and you can move it around, and especially when it comes to going on for quite a while, in sex, because you can hold that energy. But at the same time, it's almost like a dichotomy, because you're there with your partner, and these same things are going on not only within you, but within them as well. And it's almost like a little dance that you're doing with all these energies. And good morning.
Good morning. Welcome, Kevin. Thanks for coming.
Of course, I'm happy to be here with you, Steffo.
So, Kevin, you finished the Tantric Man experience a few weeks ago, I think, around 3 weeks ago.
That's right.
And let's take this from the beginning. Like, what were some of the things that was going on in your life that made you decide that you wanted to do this program?
Well, I had been through a really tough time. I had been married for 26 years, and then that marriage ended, and that was very, very painful for both of us. And at that time, I did a lot of soul searching, looked down deep, and realized that there were a lot of things I needed to look at. And in part of that time, as I was going through that process, I came across, I guess it was a Facebook ad for your program. And, I was in the right spot at the right time when I read that. And I said, let me investigate that. And so you offered that free 30-minute consultation to find out more about each other and whether the program was a good fit for me. And I really enjoyed that talk. It felt like you were totally present, and you had an ability to really hear what was going on in my life. I think that's one of your gifts, is a patient listener. And I said, you know what, this is right for me. This is the right time. This is the right person, because I've looked into weekend trips or week-long seminars where you travel or something. And of course, your program, you can be anywhere with. You can be anywhere, and I can be anywhere. It doesn't matter. And I said, okay, that's the right fit. This is the right guide. This is the right time. Count to 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And do it. Pull the trigger.
Right.
So I did it, and I'm so happy I did.
So yeah, you mentioned that you felt like a lack of guide, and that was something you were searching for, right?
Yeah, that's precisely it. I think there are a lot of men, people in general, men specifically for your program, who search. And like we were just visiting about, there's a lot of information out there, but it's like a puzzle. And if you have all these pieces of a huge jigsaw puzzle, and you don't have someone who's experienced in putting together jigsaw puzzles, and they say, oh, you know what you should do? You should put the corner pieces and the edge pieces together first. Then you can build towards the inside of your puzzle. Those are the kinds of things that you do. You've got all this background in it. You've got a passion for it, and you have compassion for people, and you guide us along our way, gently, but you keep us accountable. And so that's what I've found, is that there were many things in your program that were familiar to me already, but many that were not. And some that were familiar to me were not familiar to other students. And that's the wonderful part about your group discussions, is because everybody in the program, no matter what level we're in, we're all sharing our progress, our successes, our setbacks all together. And we get a bunch of people all at once sharing with each other. And that support, I think, was what I think primarily, that support and that accountability was why it was so successful for me.
Mm. Yeah, I remember that you said that you really cherished this connection and support from this program, especially like the accountability of other brothers that are supporting you and keep you accountable and are doing the same thing. They're on the same path as yourself, right? So I remember there was a lot of these calls which was very impactful, right?
That's right. Yeah, you bet.
Mm. You mentioned you experienced quite a lot of synchronicities during this program. What were some of those synchronicities?
Well, I'll try and think of them as they came up each week, because the 9-week program, each week is a separate topic. There was one on where we start to look at our diet and the importance of diet and compassion towards all living things, really. And I had gotten away from eating well. And not too long ago, I went for my annual physical. There's heart disease in my family. And my doctor really emphasized that I really, really needed to get back to a plant-based diet
Mm.
for my heart, for the health of my heart. And that was right around the time you were starting to introduce us slowly, little by little, to get towards a good diet, not too much at one time, but and just making those little micro commitments, to change one little thing. And so that's been tremendously helpful for me. And I feel once you do that, I've done it before. Once you do that, your body feels great, and not only just your body, but your energy, what you're holding all during the day is just you feel great. And of course, something similar had happened with my brother. And now I'm converting a bedroom into a gym. He's coming over. We're starting to exercise, and so
Mm.
that's wonderful. Uh, Another thing that was real interesting that I like is the 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 friends that you have and colleagues that you have that you recommend along this path. For example, the astrology reading. I didn't do it right away, but then at one point I did during the program, and I was really I was really kind of I don't know, shocked, but in a good way, that he picked up on some things that apparently are a part of me, but I just are only starting to blossom right about now, which is going into an energetic healing practice that I've been investigating off and on, but it's been floundering. And after that discussion, realized that's what I'm supposed to do, and so I'm heading out in that direction now too. And with the Facebook group, it's great because even though the class is over, we still support each other. We check in with each other. And I know we've got another member in the group, and he's kind of going out on the same sort of path. And so we check in with each other. We've both finished the class, but we bonded, like you will with anybody in the
Mm.
program. So little things like almost uncanny things, and I think probably there are those things happening around us all the time, right? We
Yeah.
just don't always notice it. And so when you're in the program, you notice that kind of stuff.
Mm. Wow, that's some really great synchronicities. And starting your own business is like a new career in your life, right? And it's a big step. It's a big decision to take. So, how do you feel? Do you feel that is in line with your new purpose or a new found purpose, maybe?
Well, I do, because, I'm not ready quite to retire. I live in the United States. I'll probably be working at the job I'm at for another, 10 or so years, maybe longer. But it'll take me a while to study this material and get certified and get enough practice under my belt. So I see this as something that's going to take me, to the end of my life once I start practicing. So I'll start slowly with my regular job and this job, and as a student, to start with. Um, but we all have to start somewhere, and we all have to take baby steps, and that's where I'm at right now.
Mm, beautiful. I'm really happy to hear that, and that you feel fulfilled to follow your bliss. So thanks for sharing that. And I
Of
also
course.
know that you were in a relationship during this program. Not all men are, but you were.
Right.
And
Hmm.
could you express a little bit about how it was to share that with your woman and the lessons and the things that you learned from the program?
Well, it was wonderful. In general, I like to share anyway. You know, like you go to a great restaurant, you got to tell people about it, right? Or you get a good candy
Yeah.
bar, you got to share it. And so every week, you know, the modules roll out on a specific time. I would go to my lessons and read them, and then it was usually on a weekend, so I would talk to her, and she was very interested in it as well, not only from a curiosity standpoint, but also from a standpoint of someone who wanted to support their man. And that was very interesting. And she had actually recently gone through a similar type of a program. Uh, Heroine's Journey is what it was called, and it was local here in town. But a lot of the same things I think were come up, very deep exploration. So naturally, she was interested as well. And to me, it was important uh, that she know what was going on with me because, you know, we practice retention, we practice some of these other things, and to do that with a conscious partner would be important, rather than just having to meet someone and then explain to them, you know, what's going on in your life, why you do this, you know, all at once. She, you know, we were both going through the program together.
Mm,
As I would learn things, I would share things, and it was very interesting, and it was good to feel supported as well.
yeah, totally. And she was happy that you did this program?
Yes, she is, because she sees that it's what I want, what's important to me, you know, and she's seen the changes in me, and there's also some shadow work which was important, especially when it comes to relationships and sex. So uh, yeah, it was wonderful. And I know some guys don't have a partner, but that's the thing about the program. It's very, you even have a little segment about a little short video segment about what it's like to be in a relationship with a tantric man in your program. And but it's going to work no matter what. But for me, I enjoyed it very much.
Mm, very good. And could you talk a little bit about your relationship to feeling and perceiving energy in your body, like subtle streams of energy? Did you discover something when you did these practices?
Well, I did. You know, I've done some energy work. That's the business I'm going to go into, is a type of energetic healing, and I've done self care on myself naturally, um, especially in preparation for each time I would do energy work. But I've never done energy work specifically regarding sexuality and sex and moving the energy in my body during that time. Uh, and so that was it was new to me to do those particular practices, especially some of the yogic practices that you teach in the class that I wasn't familiar with because I haven't studied. But it was very powerful, and it's very I don't want to say it's very easy. It wasn't too difficult for me, but it's an amazing feeling when you can be in touch with that energy that's within us, and you
Mm,
can feel it moving around, and you can move it around, and especially when it comes to you know, going on for quite a while, you know, in sex, because you can hold that energy, and yeah, it's amazing. It really is,
mm.
and I enjoyed it very much.
Wow. Okay. So if there's someone watching this and don't understand really what we're talking about here, and these kind of experiences are new or they haven't experienced that feeling yet, how would you explain when you feel this sexual energy in your body? How would that be explained from you to someone that never had it before?
It's very internal. It's a very internal thing because you're very in touch with your body. You're concentrating on what your body's feeling. You're not overtaken by uh, passion and lust, and you're concentrating very much on it. But at the same time, it's almost like a dichotomy, because you're there with your partner, and these same things are going on not only within you but within them as well. And it's almost like a little dance that you're doing with all these energies, and it just totally puts a different way of being with another person. You know, it's not just a physical act and you get over with it. It's much more spiritual. It's much more involved. It's much more whole. I guess that's about the closest I can come. I'm not a great wordsmith, but I guess it's almost like more of a sacred dance, you know?
Yeah, I like it. I like your explanation. And thanks for sharing that. So wrapping this up, any last words of wisdom that you would like to share to men out there?
Well, I won't profess to have any wisdom. Okay.
Okay. Fair enough.
But I will say that I'm so glad I did this course. You know, like I was saying a moment ago, I think it puts pieces of the puzzle together. That's what it did for me. And what I found that I needed a guide, and you were a wonderful guide, Steffo. And I also needed support and brothers. And you know, I'll share a story. It's kind of funny if you can keep it in the video. There was a time where I was wondering about something, and my girlfriend said, well, why don't you ask your brothers? Because I have two brothers, two older brothers. And I thought to myself, well, what do they know about that? And she says, no. She says, your Tantra brothers. And I never even thought, you know, because I was thinking about my genetic family, but now I got a different family. So that's wonderful. And anybody in this program is going to be supported. And Steffo, again, like I mentioned, you're a wonderful guide. It's been a real pleasure to meet you and to know you and to stay in touch.
Thank you. That's very heartfelt. And that's exactly what I want to create, you know, that we can feel as brothers or as an extended family, that we can reach out to each other and support each other. We need that as men in this world today. So I'm really, really happy that you shared that story. And I'm really grateful that you could take that away and create bonds, not only with me, but with the other guys in the program. So that's something that I feel very blessed and grateful to hear. So thank you, Kevin, and thanks for coming on and sharing your story.
You bet. It was great to see you. Stay strong.
Stay strong, brother. Have a good one.
Okay.